The bank of mom and dad. Can people still afford to grow up? Uh-oh. There are a lot of very blessed people that can get bankrolled by their parents, and I find it's actually quite the opposite for like people in my area and in my life, where they're actually kind of bankrolling their parents if they can afford it. Yeah. Is that Biden selling a house? No, he's got too much hair on his head.
The Bank of Mom and Dad is now one of the largest financial institutions in the world. A 2019 study revealed that American parents represented the 7th biggest mortgage lender in the country,
What?
financing over $47.3 billion in the year before. That's
I told you, man. What did I just say, man? How do you get bankrolled by your parents? Like, if anything, I'm supposed to be helping my parents, man. They're not doing too hot. They're doing okay. I want them to be happy and not be scared of losing everything.
particularly impressive,
I think most
since a
people
lot of
do
parents
that.
are not loaning the entire purchase price of a property, but are instead just loaning their children a down payment so they can get another even bigger loan from an actual bank.
Oh my god.
Now, there's probably
dude.
something to be said about our lax attitude towards taking on endless debt here. But the Bank of Mom and Dad is not only in the mortgage industry. A survey conducted by Savings.com found that parents were, on average, funding their adult children to the tune of $1,474 a month to
Where do these parents get their money from, bro? What is actually going on? $1,400?
cover basic living expenses like groceries, medicine, and gas. Money was also lent or gifted to cover cell phones
How
and
does that not a wake-up call to think to yourself like, maybe boomers kind of ruined the economy, man?
even
This
vacation.
is sad.
And with rates like these,
And the boomers that don't have any money, they're the ones that are worse off too. They're the ones that are like working at Walmart past retirement.
bank customers are sticking
Not all
around.
boomers have
Even millennials
investments.
who are now over the age of 30, at minimum, were still loyal clients to the Bank of Mom and Dad, receiving just under $900 a month on average. Now, I don't know
Wow.
about you, but my mom and dad aren't giving me $900 a month.
Nope. Nope.
So clearly, that average is being influenced
if anything, my dad lost his headlight. Someone crashed into him, and I paid for it because I felt so bad. They're like, we can't afford it. I think we're gonna have to give up the car. Yeah, I loaned them the money because I'm better off than they are.
by a lot of people who were given a black card with the bank at birth.
And I'm not loaning it, by the way, just so we know. We're on the record. I'm not like one of those bitches that's like, you have to pay me back. No, absolutely not.
There is actually a more concerning
that
trend
shit.
here. Parents are, on average, contributing significantly more to their adult children than their own retirements.
Oh my god! That's double. That's more than double.
Mom and Dad's financing has also become a lot more complex, with equity releases, finance guarantees, networking, tranche benefits, and of course, serious terms and conditions. If there is a run on this bank, we might end up in a situation where parents can't afford to retire and children can't afford to grow up.
Yep. For anyone who's below, I would say even middle class boomers who don't have excellent investments and don't have assets, I think they're kind of boned too. That's why I hate the perpetuating the stereotype of like, oh, boomers did everything. It's like, yeah, the really, really rich ones did this.
50% of 18 to 29-year-olds are still living with their parents.
Without your mom's support, what are some of the things that you probably wouldn't be able to have?
I would definitely not have a place to live. I would not have gas for my car to get here.
Yep.
I would not have food in my mouth.
When he needs something, I send it.
My friend, he lives in La Jolla. He has like a $300 a week allowance.
On average, California parents believe their children should be
Well, I mean, that's California, to be fair.
financially independent by the age of 24.
Good lord.
So there are really three groups that lose in this whole arrangement. Parents who are increasingly supporting their children later into life, the children of families who can't afford to support them, and, even though it's much harder to feel sorry for them, the Nepo babies themselves, whose financial assistance often has a lot of strings attached. So the inherent autocracy might not be good for anybody,
No.
but clearly some people are worse off than others. Around half of young adults over the age of 18 don't receive any financial support from their parents at all, either because their parents can't afford to, they don't have a good relationship with them, or because they are dead. Losing this support network can and does statistically do more financial.
And you also don't inherit anything out of it. There are a lot of cases where boomer or Gen X parents, they just don't have any assets.
Damage than just missing out on direct deposits. Balancing a job, studies, ambitions, and comfort is incredibly difficult for someone just starting out. In most parts of America, to get a job, you need a car. To get a car, you need money or to take out a loan. To go to school is more loans. To get a place to live, you need to buy furniture and put down a security deposit, and you are still probably going to want to eat in the first 2 weeks before your—
Man, you guys got furniture when you moved out? I didn't get a sofa until 9 months into my fucking job. I didn't have a sofa. I played on a fucking $25 plastic Walmart table to put my laptop on that I had for 5 fucking years. What do you mean furniture? What? I had a mattress on the ground. Chat. I slept on a mattress on the ground until one of my coworkers' dads, because I was friends with them, my coworkers' dads, sorry, the egg is distracting. It looks good. They built it with me. I glued together like, what is it called? Like I glued together and like put together and got all the building materials to build a fucking support frame for my bed. Yeah. Dog, hold your gluttony. Hey, I didn't have breakfast, okay? I had coffee, that's it. Okay, leave me alone.
Paycheck comes in.
I built my own bed
Starting
frame.
from zero means that the only option for the seed capital—
And that shit took like a month. Because I had to go every day after work and go drive there. Yeah.
—of life is high interest debt. Even just having a place to sleep and a car to borrow is a massive head start over this kind—
Oh, and I got my parents like old ass Saturn too. Yep, I didn't buy a car. I got a Saturn and I still have it.
—of situation. Even the most
like that, I think that's pretty lucky to get a hand-me-down car at this point.
modest of safety nets can also let you take on some more calculated risks. Straight after college, I took an internship at an investment bank. I had to live in an expensive city with no real savings and no guarantees that it would eventually lead to a full-time position. But I was able to do it anyways because I knew, in an absolute worst-case scenario, my parents would cover a plane ticket back home and let me stay with them until I was back on my feet. That's
what my parents did with my brother. He had a job in a city, and then that fell through, and he had to move back in because he literally couldn't afford it. He's older than me, but I'm just saying, like, I also had that backup, but I never went through with it.
Seemingly small advantages like this can be the difference between getting a high-paying career or missing out on it, to take the safer but less lucrative option. This is the same reason why successful actors or business people overwhelmingly come from stable backgrounds, because being able to take a risk is a luxury a lot of people can't afford. Peter Temin, an economist from MIT, has claimed through his now infamous research that breaking the cycle of poverty now takes 20 years at minimum with absolutely nothing going wrong.
So, like, you can't have a life-threatening illness. You can't have, like, 3 babies. You can't, like, crash and total your car and ruin your life. Dude, that's actually insane. 20 fucking years? So if you start from age 20, you start making, like, money, it takes you until 40?
He noted that the quality of your nepotism really depends on what your family was doing back before the 1970s, when productivity growth started to outpace wage growth. Before this time, people on professional incomes could amass equity in asset markets and real estate relatively easily, which built up a secure foundation. Over time, hourly wages ended up buying less and less, and debt became more available. For people without assets, it became a tool to keep up, and for people with assets, your debt became their equity. The only reason homes are so expensive today is because people can get loans to buy them, either from a real bank or the bank of mom and dad. The analogy is that starting a fire from scratch is really, really hard, and even the slightest bit of rain can destroy even the most dedicated efforts.
Yep.
Starting a new fire with a little flame taking from an existing fire that has been burning since the bright sunny days of the 1970s is much easier,
That's
and even pretty bad
crazy,
weather
man.
probably won't put it out once it's going.
I don't know a single person in my age bracket that fucking has that ability, dude. Yeah, like, I don't know, maybe I don't live in an extremely affluent area, but I've never heard of that shit. Like, oh, I'm gonna just loan it. I'm gonna get a loan of like $30,000 from my parents. I'm like, what do you mean $30,000 from your parents? What are you smoking?
So yeah,
What?
nepotism is overpowered. I know that's probably not shocking
I don't
to
know
you,
nepo
but
babies.
the real problem is what this has been able to cover up so far. So it's time to learn how money works to find out how to fix it and what happens if we don't. This week's video is sponsored by Odoo. Odoo is a complete business management platform that brings together everything from sales and CRM to inventory, accounting, and even a full website builder, all in one place. With Odoo, you only use the apps you need, and everything just works together. No tech headaches, no juggling a dozen logins. We recently gave How Money Works library a full revamp using Odoo, built a new internal site, streamlined our production process, and made everything way easier to navigate. Their website builder is surprisingly powerful and actually fun to use. You can create professionally looking pages without touching code and link them directly to your workflow, whether it's sales, scheduling, or content management. And we have another project we're working on them that's going to be announced soon. So, if you want to simplify your setup or build something from scratch, give Odoo a try. Hit the link in the description to test out any app for free. No credit card needed. The means and methods by which wealthy parents can help their children have grown considerably in complexity, and some of them have been made possible by tailored products from the actual financial industry. Home equity conversion mortgages, otherwise known as reverse mortgages, have slowly become one of the most popular ways for the bank of mom and dad to raise.
I've never even thought about mortgages. Is it hard to get a mortgage nowadays as a young person? Yeah, Juji's here. Hi, Juji man, come here. You wanna say hi? Do you want to talk about mortgages? Come here. Come here, little man. Come here. Oh, come here, come here, come here. You need money down and decent credit? Yeah, and then also your parents sometimes can, like, share your credit. Come here, uppies. Uppies. Come here, I want to kiss your face. Come here. Come here, you little grumpaluppagus. Hi, buddy. Okay, there you go. I got kisses. The paperwork is huge. Yeah, you need to find like brokers and shit and fight them about it. Bye, Juji. I was just saying hi.
Capital. They work like this.
Making a cosigner makes it easier. Yeah, I've heard of co-signing, but like I've never done that shit.
If an elderly person past working age has a paid off house but no way to earn an income, they can go to a lender and get a cash out mortgage using their home equity. The industry standard normally caps this at around 30% of the home's value. Someone who owns a $450,000 home could get a loan of $150,000. Now, with no way to actually make the repayments on this loan, the lender doesn't actually expect any money back. Instead, the debt just grows and grows with interest until the homeowner sells the property. Or dies.
What?
The bank then gets first dibs.
Wait, what? You're just allowed to do that even though the person has no income? Nah, that's retarded, man. The fuck? Yeah, then they take the home when they die because they have nothing. And then the person gets... Oh.
On the proceeds from the sale, plus any interest that accrued over the years. These products were particularly popular between 2000 and 2008, as tapping home equity became
2008. I don't believe in debt, man. I pretty much have no debt. I'm lucky, bro.
A popular tool to fund lavish lifestyles or to invest in other properties.
I didn't become a lawyer
Famously,
or some
this
shit.
all ended super well and everybody lived happily ever after.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, while reverse mortgages are still not as popular as they were back then, thanks largely to much tighter regulations, they are still creeping back and they now represent more borrowing overall because houses have become more expensive. The financial sector loves these loans because they, on average, have significantly higher rates and fees than typical home mortgages because they are a more bespoke financial product. But despite all of these problems, there are two reasons why they are becoming more popular again. The first reason is that people simply need money. According to data from the Fed, even people who have had a lifetime to build up assets still...
Composition of assets by age, 25. Vehicles. Well, yeah, because you only have like a vehicle, maybe. Cash. Wait, Gen Z has like the most cash. Huh. Other assets, stocks. Yeah, they have the least amount of stocks. Yeah, look at the boomers. Holy moly. Look at this chunk. They have the biggest chunk ever.
Overwhelmingly have most of their net worth in their family home. You can't sell a portion of your home like you can a stock portfolio. And living expenses have become particularly bad for—
Dude, imagine if they could, though. Oh my god, the banks would salivate at their fucking mouth for that.
old age services. Again, I know this isn't shocking to any of you watching, but the second reason behind the growing popularity of these loans is that it's become increasingly popular for parents to refinance their house and give cash to their children as an early inheritance. It's a trend growing so quickly that banks like Merrill have their own planning teams for it.
What? What does this say? Making financial gifts to your children now instead of in your role can be very satisfying. Here are things to consider. Giving now or later is the preferred approach for many financially comfortable people these days. So they don't want people to get inheritances? I see.
Now, to be fair, for the families that do have the assets to do this, there are 3 big advantages to doing it this way.
They're hella rich. Holy crap. Look at this house!
The first is simply that they get to actually see their money getting enjoyed by their children rather than just guessing what they will do with it once they are dead. But there are also more pragmatic reasons as well. Money for young adults just starting out in life is going to have a bigger impact on opportunities than a larger inheritance received later. The average age someone receives an inheritance is now 51 years old, which roughly makes sense as the average life expectancy minus the average age that people have children.
Up, yeah.
That age used to be early 40s, as people live shorter lives, but with an aging population, the regular passing down of assets is happening later and later. A University of Pennsylvania survey also found that people receiving inheritances later in life generally got significantly more money as their parents statistically had—
What happened here? 56 to 65? Why is it so low? And then it spikes again and then it goes down again.
more time to build wealth to pass down. Way too long though, and it drops down again as financing old age care can get really expensive. So, you know, if you're trying to plan this out, early 60s is really the sweet spot. Now, obviously I'm joking.
Whoa, don't plan out your inheritance age. Whoa, you're gonna be on CSI or some shit, dude.
But that same survey also found that 70% of people would rather receive an inheritance of $250,000 at age 30 rather than $1 million at age 50.
Yeah, cause 50, like, fucking more than half your life's gone, of course. The fuck am I gonna do get $1 million at age 50?
A cash injection earlier in life can help you get set up when you most need it to buy your first home, pay off student loans, and stretch out the budget for potentially raising a family. A windfall later in life should just make a comfortable situation even more comfortable if you manage to save and invest diligently.
Yeah.
Now that's a big if, because obviously a lot of people don't know how to handle a big injection of cash. Internal data from
Oh yeah. I realized that a lot listening to coworkers, like when I had a normal job. A lot of people get like a lot of money and then they just do really dumb shit with it. Like I'm gonna buy myself a car that I can't afford the insurance for, and I can't afford the actual payments on it. I'm like, so why didn't you just buy a more modest car and have leftover and be able to afford it? Like, yeah, obviously, like a car is an awesome asset to have. Like, you just pay it off and then it's like, you have such poor financial decisions. I've seen it happen to YouTubers too. I'm not gonna name names. I'll be vague enough, but I've seen people who pop the fuck off, make a bunch of money, and then they complain and say shit like, oh, well, I can't afford it anymore. I haven't been posting like videos and stuff, and I have really poor financial decision making. I'm like, so you had a lot of money, like say like you had $20,000 you earned from like one video, and then you just have nothing? Like, how did that even happen? Like, if I had $20,000, I'd probably just buy a decent car or like get a loan on a decent car.
major financial advisory firm found that on average, recipients of a major inheritance took 19 days before they purchased a new car. And that's the third and
That's what I'm saying, man.
most commonly overlooked service from the Bank of—
Or they buy like a luxury apartment building in like and then they don't put the effort in to like make videos. It just makes no sense to me.
mom and dad. They offer in-house financial advice, whether it's wanted or not. Early inheritances can be more carefully administered with terms and conditions to make sure that recipients don't squander the money, but also as a way to keep children dependent for longer than they really should be. Now, the trope of the trust fund baby exists for a reason, but reverse mortgages have let even middle-class families do the same thing to help their children out. The Savings.com survey found that 77% of parents that gave money to their children did so with conditions attached. Now, some of those conditions were simple, pragmatic, financial.
And you know what? It sucks if you do that kind of thing. That's why I, like, you know, for example, what I stated, I said, Dad, I don't want you to pay me back because I don't want drama from it. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, I expect my parents to pay, or like, I expect my brother or sister to pay me back. It's like, no, absolutely not. That's just gonna cause you so much pain in the long run with dealing with your parents. That's why I think co-signing can also be a massive issue, in my opinion. Co-signing is such a big deal because if you don't make payments, you fuck over your family.
Advice. But more often than not, it was personal rules related to their relationships, career, and family planning. Now, it may be hard to feel sorry for people getting major financial assistance, but this is a genuine burden that's increasingly hard to say no to, because these financial advantages are just so hard to compete with. Even with an extremely high income, saving a significant amount of money is challenging when realistic assumptions are made about rent, student loans, and the cost of living where most high-income jobs actually exist. Similarly, even a modest salary paired with a big cash injection can put someone decades ahead of a more highly compensated peer starting from nothing. If the price of this head start is playing by mommy and daddy's rules for life, then it's pretty hard to say no to.
Oh, but then the mental anguish. I don't know, man. The mental of having the... Like, money is such a big thing that you can wave over someone's head. And when it's not like an entity, like a corporation or a bank or the government even, it's very personal and emotional. And I think that's really bad. Like, again, it sucks. And I don't blame anyone for, you know, taking a loan from their parents if they have to, if they're not going to end up on the street. I don't blame any of you chatters, by the way, if you're in this situation. I just think that it sucks so much cock at being in that fucking position.
It's also a self-perpetuating problem. Things can only get so expensive if nobody can afford them. The reason that college tuition has outpaced inflation is because student debt has become really easy to access and really safe for institutions to offer.
Hey, look at what happened here. 2004. Boom. Look at this massive jump. Even this is a pretty fucking big jump, but not as like severe. What is it? 2004 until 2011 or 12? Goodness gracious, that is such a big jump.
Similarly, home lending has become easier and cheaper.
And again, privatized education is so fucking bad.
Cheaper thanks to things like national credit reporting agencies, low deposit mortgages.
As soon as I was born, it started. I was gonna ban you for a second because I didn't do the math. I was like, 2004 is kind of young, and then I was like, wait a minute, that was 21 years ago. Ooh! I was like, do I have to ban this kid?
Access and really safe for institutions to offer. Similarly, home lending has become easier and cheaper thanks to things like national credit reporting agencies, low deposit mortgages, and tax advantages for homeowners. And that's all just made entry-level homes more expensive. If getting an advance at the bank of mom and dad becomes the norm, it will again just make big life milestones more expensive for everybody, including those that unfortunately don't have open accounts there. And this is why more and more parents are feeling obligated to help their children.
It's a weird dynamic, the US parents financially supporting their adult children. If your parents can fucking afford it.
Children, even if they can't really afford to. Starting out in life has become extremely expensive, but so has the stuff at the end of it. Aged care has become a huge and oftentimes predatory industry, where comfort really does depend on how.
Same with education. I'm surprised you didn't touch on that at all. The education system and college system in America and most Western countries, except for a few exceptions in Europe, they're all just like made to make money off of you. Dry your balls and squeeze them tight.
How much people can afford. Almost half of the surveyed parents reported making sacrifices to their own financial security to support their adult children, with the most popular source of funding simply being retirement accounts.
And like I said, even though it's only a survey of 1,000 parents of adult children, I think that 500 people out of 1,000 basically saying, I sacrificed my own financial security out of the love of my child. I'm not saying you don't have every single person there saying, oh, well, I don't love my kids. A lot of them just do it because they love their children and they don't want them to be in poverty, man.
So the bank of mom and dad isn't good for mom and dad. It isn't good for the children who give up their
Sucks,
independence
man.
to get a head start, and it certainly isn't good for the children from families who can't support them, or worse still, who they have to support. But the world's biggest financial institution also isn't good for a generation of people who don't even exist yet. It's no secret that one of the main reasons why people choose not to have children is because they simply can't afford to. Even amongst high-income earners, the financial burden of children is making a lot of people reconsider starting a family, with most reporting to Pew Research that they have other financial
Maintaining relationship with friends who have children. Wow. Who say they're unlikely to have children, a large majority see financial and lifestyle advantages in not being parents. Having time for hobbies and interests. Oh my god, man. Having active social life. Yeah, that's not me. I'm like at a 0.
goals that need to be met first. If people assume that they will need to be the
I
bank
need to count my Funko Pops, chat. My Funko Pops. No kids need a game.
people reconsider starting
I would honestly agree with that if games were actually that amazing. We only get like really amazing games every once in a while. You can't even make that excuse up anymore.
a family, with most reporting to Pew Research that they have other financial goals that need to be met first. If people assume that they will need to be the bank of mom and dad, they are naturally going to want even more financial security before starting a family. Because not only do they need to get themselves set up, they also need to be comfortable enough to support their children so they aren't left behind. Starting a family is financially scary enough when it's an 18-year commitment. But if allowances to 30-year-olds become an expectation, it's going
18 years is like softballing too. Your parents will always try to help you if they can. If your parents love you, that is.
to preclude the vast majority of people. Now, the obvious solution to scaling back the bank of mom and dad would be to make it easier for young people to support themselves. But to do that, you really need to understand why it's become so hard to get ahead. Go and watch this video next to find out what has changed that left young people so far behind. And don't forget to like and subscribe to keep on learning how money works.
Money! Chat, we need more money. I need to buy more Pokemon cards and watch Logan Paul open up packs on stream. Yeah, clappies in the chat!